What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. In hip hop, there's not too many people that can take off the time that Macklemore and Ryan Lewis have taken off. Now, this is not to say that they haven't been working for the past 4 years, but the Heist came out in 2012. And it is just now 2016. We're getting this Unruly Mess I've Made, their sophomore album. And I think a lot of people are looking at him to see if he's going to be able to duplicate the success or if they're going to fall off. I don't think they're going to fall off, but I don't know because this album didn't really have the build-up that the Heist did. There's no hit single. The biggest single they had was Downtown, and that's only gold. So I'm kind of, and just kind of leading up to the album, I was kind of just not too engaged with the rollout. It seemed like they were just kind of putting out song after song to where we got, three or four singles, 3, 4, 5 singles, and the only one that really hit me was White Privilege 2. I like the record a lot. I think it's a beautiful piece of music, and I already did a lengthy video about it, so I'm not really going to discuss it. I'll include that in the description below, so if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. But getting into this actual album, he starts the album off strong, and he ends the album strong too. Obviously, White Privilege 2 is the album's closure, but going back to the album intro is Light Tunnels. It's a storytelling record about his experience going to the Grammys. Now, this is the side of Macklemore that a lot of people don't really get to see because these are not the singles. Downtown is a single, and I'll admit, Downtown is a very corny record. It's not anything spectacular. I mean, Thrift Shop, it was corny, but it was a good record in my opinion. But going back to Light Tunnels, it's him pretty much walking you through his whole day leading up to the Grammys. It takes talent to write a story like that. So I really was engaged with the album when that started, and then it goes into Downtown, and I thought the Downtown beat was fire, but I'm just not a fan of the overall concept. I like Eric Nally's hook. I think it's really strong, but as far as the verses, it's like one of those random Macklemore times where he's talking about mopeds and stuff. Like, what is the purpose, and I think that carries over to a couple of records on the album. Brad Pitt's cousin is just weird, and it just doesn't make any sense. He kind of, in the beginning, he even throws his cat on the record. You hear his cat he kind of, here's what he does with his cat. He stunts about his cat, saying his cat's more famous than you. And then he puts the cat on the record real quick to do like a little meow or whatever it was that his cat did. So it was just a weird record all around. Like him talking about being Brad Pitt's cousin. I'm trying to figure out what the whole idea behind it is. Like, what inspired this record? I want to know, because even though I don't like the record, I'm always interested in like what the creative process is for something of this nature. And I want to continue kind of talking about the bad parts of the Macklemore and Ryan Lewis album because I want to kind of get those out of the way. Dance Off. It was very cringeworthy to me. He's just, the second verse is like him talking about a grandpa with a huge dick. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? And it's not even like a Raven Bowie type of joint. If you're a Macklemore fan, you know Raven Bowie is one of Mac's alter egos. He did And We Danced. He has the record Castle on the Heist. That's Raven Bowie. But I don't think this is Raven Bowie here. But it's weird enough that it could be. But it's just like, it just didn't work for me. The only part of the song that I really liked was Anderson .Paak's part at the end. And he has a small part. So I was kind of disappointed. Like, I wanted him to have more of a presence on the record. What was the other song that I didn't like? Let's Eat. It's a song about wanting to eat food and to get in shape. Now, if you've seen what Macklemore looks like, he's not like an out-of-shape guy. Granted, I've never seen him with a shirt off, so I can't really judge. But as far as like what I've seen, and I've met him several times in person, he's not somebody that's really out of shape. So it was like a weird record to make. Again, like I said with Brad Pitt's cousin, I want to know the inspiration. I really hope at some point Mac and Ryan sit down and do some kind of video interview or just an interview in general with whoever, talking about like what inspired this record and what that inspired this record and things of that nature. So I want to just know, because some of these records are so weird and zany that it's like unbearable, and that kind of carries over, or that kind of finishes the stuff that I didn't like about the album. And here's what I really like about the album. It's different than the Heist. It's not the same concepts over and over again. You know, this is more Macklemore kind of dealing with his fame following the Grammys. And I think Macklemore is at his best when he's making records like Light Tunnels. And he has a record called The Train, which is kind of about detachment and things like that. There's a couple lines in there. He said, I try to write, but every sentence is a run-on. If you know anything about run-on sentences, nobody likes run-on sentences. As a journalist, I hate run-on sentences. And they don't really make for good lyrics, I guess. And so that's what I interpreted that part as. And then he says, I try to text you, but I don't get the reception. I don't get reception in this tunnel vision. I think Macklemore is kind of talking about how he's just very focused, and he wants to text, he wants to reach out, but he's feeling like really in his zone. He's feeling really alone and just like sheltered and covered, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm not interpreting it the way that he would interpret it, but I thought that those lyrics on The Train really stood out to me, so I wanted to highlight those. Bolo Tie. It is the single most unorthodox collaboration on the project. Macklemore and YG. Yes, the same YG that made My Crazy Life, same YG that did Tootie the Booty. He did a song with Macklemore. And when I first saw the track list, I thought, this has to be fake. Who put this out? But lo and behold, it was an actual song. And it turned out better than I expected. I think Mac and YG have, a nice chemistry with them. YG talks about the media using him negatively instead of focusing on like the positive. Like YG talks about how he was helping kids and giving Christmas to kids, but the media only really wanted to focus on when he got shot. And that's a very real thing to talk about. So I like that record a lot. I felt he had a heartfelt letter about becoming a dad and to his daughter on growing up. And it helps that Ed Sheeran does the hook because it is beautiful. What else did I want to say? I think that's pretty much it. Overall, I was more impressed with this Macklemore album than I expected. Like I said, I went into this album not sure if I was going to like a lot of it because the singles weren't really hitting to me. But I walked away with more Macklemore records that I can put on my iPod and really enjoy, just like The Heist. I'm definitely going to cut some of the more wacky, out-of-the-box type of records because those just don't... That's not the side of Macklemore that I appreciate. I like the personal side. I like when he's speaking about some real stuff and being deep and all of that. So, I would love to know your thoughts on this unruly mess I've made. Let me know in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.